So, you're probably an artist who wants to create an OC character. Or maybe you're not even an artist and just want to create an OC character. Or maybe it's not even both, or I don't know what you want to do with it, but either way, I don't care. Anyways, you still clicked on this video, so I'm sure that you have some sort of purpose for this. And you're thinking, wow, how do I make a hot OC character? Which I think you've come to the wrong place, but I'll still try anyway. Now, disclaimer, I am not giving you a tutorial on how to draw a character. If you want that, there are so many tutorials on it. I'm only going to be covering it for a bit. But mostly, I'm going to be telling you how to develop a good OC character, since I feel like a lot of people miss the point on that specific part. The thing with design is that there are so many different styles that people have that if I try to limit and choose a specific style and people would follow it, it wouldn't be very authentic. And since it's their original character, the design should be based off what their style is, since it's supposed to be original, and I don't really want to influence that. So the design, you can make it whatever you want in whatever style you want. I'm not forcing you to do anything. So in this video, we're going to be mainly covering the personality, story/concept, and then the design. I'm not saying that my OC character is perfect, and it's far from perfect actually. I'm just saying that these are some tips and tricks that I found to make characters more believable, and whether you choose to believe them is your own choice. And so this is just an example of it. A character should have character. And with that being said, let's get right into the main core of a character, which is their personality. For personality, honestly, it's up to you whether you want to do a villain or a good guy. But the basis of a good character is to have flaws and emotions. You don't want a cookie cutter character, or a character that's basically a plain, boring character. You want them to have flaws, and you want them to not be perfect, basically. The thing that I've seen with some people's OC characters is that they tend to make them either very good or very bad. So either they're a pure hero or a pure villain. And I think that that is the wrong way to approach it. I like to use female characters as an example because a lot of female characters nowadays don't really get a lot of emotion because, women empowerment or feminism, and I can understand where they're coming from, but honestly, it doesn't really make a woman powerful if you just don't put any emotions on them. It honestly makes them worse because you can't relate to them at all. If you do want to do a good hero or character, then I say good examples are Tanjiro and Deku. Now you might, be mad at me for saying this, but honestly, I think that they have some of the most compelling characters in, most stories, because they not only have flaws, but they also show real emotions. Mainly, I want to focus on Tanjiro because I feel he is the better of the two. Don't come at me for it, but it's just what I think. Tanjiro is a good guy, and his flaw is that he's overly emotional. And I think that adding flaws to characters makes them much more realistic and makes them much more easier to relate to for the audience, and therefore creates a good character. For example, my character has good traits such as protective, caring, persistent, and hardworking. But they also have flaws like being stubborn, selfish, and easily jealous. These are what make a character feel real and feel like, they're in our world rather than a fictional character, which you do not want with an OC character. No one wants a perfect character because they're boring and honestly unrelatable. So try to mix some good traits and bad traits and try to come up with the perfect combination that works for your OC character. Now, for the story/concept, for the concept, you can honestly do whatever you want. For the story though, it's a different story. No pun intended. For story, even if you don't want to have a full-fledged story and universe revolving around your OC character, you still want to create the basics such as what is their internal conflict, and what is their goal, what do they want to be, and what is their flaw. These are basic foundations that you have to put in order to even create a character. If you don't put these in, then it's not a character, it's a drawing of a person. That's not a character. It doesn't even have to be that complicated. Even if you just say who they are and what they do, it's enough to get some audiences interested into their backstory, in which then you can add more to the story and to the environment and world building around them. For example, my character is an assassin who travels different universes and timelines to stop things from happening or to kill certain targets. Of course, it's not that good, and it's not a full-fledged out story, but it's a base, and you can build off of bases. And depending on where you want to go with the story, it can change dramatically. Now, that's for the story, but for the concept, you can do whatever you want. It can be either historical, futuristic, modern, and other things, as long as it fits within your story. The thing is with concept and themes is that it's the base, it's the foundation. If you don't do a proper job laying out the foundation and making it consistent, then it'll just end up bad. And another thing is that concept plays a role in design as well. So make sure that you think of the concept first before creating the design of your character, because honestly, out of all the elements in a character, I think that the design has to be done last, as it revolves around the other aspects of the character. Now, for the final part, it is design, and I'm sure probably a lot of you have waited for this final part because artists, they love their design. One thing I have to say is that make the color of your character the way you want them to be seen or portrayed as. So for example, if they're happy or bright, then use yellow or maybe a bright color like green. If they are always sad or maybe somber and are just generally much more quiet, then you can use a blue or a purple for royalty. And if you want them to be hot, then you can use red or even other colors as well. A very dominant and bright color. I'm not saying to make them hot, but if you can, just make them hot. Another thing I would probably recommend for design is to create that one point that people will remember your character for that is different from other characters. For example, Tanjiro, again as an example, he has reddish pink hair and that checkerboard kimono. I don't know what it is, but I think it's a kimono. And then for Hinata, not that Hinata, he has his orange, bright orange hair, and he's short. So that's also another bonus point. There's other characters like Naruto and Deku, and the reason why these characters are so iconic, other than being popular, is because their designs are just iconic as well. There's that one thing that people remember them for in their design. It could be the combination of colors, or it could be a certain design asset of the character. Even for my character, the thing that I decided to focus on is her eyes. And I tried to make her have a scar on her eye, and one of them blue, which is the part where her eye is scarred. And so even with that design, you can create a backstory on that. How did she get that scar? Why did she get that scar? And why did her eye turn blue even after getting that scar? It creates a lot of question, and in turn creates more story for your character. So more depth. And lastly, I just want to say, have fun creating your character. Honestly, these tips are just for those who want to actually create a good character. But if you're just trying to make an OC character for fun, then just have fun. I don't really care. I made this for fun, and I thought about the things as I was doing it, because I actually want to create a character. But if you just want to draw for fun, then go ahead, create one, and create a short story probably based on your character. It's just as I said, for fun. You don't really have to do anything. And with that, you've reached the end of the video, and therefore you finished creating your OC character. And hopefully this was at least a bit helpful for you. If not, then hopefully it was, fun to watch at least. Disclaimer again, I am not a professional in creating characters. I'm just saying that these are the things that I've noticed that make characters good. And people might disagree with me, people might agree with me, and honestly, it's just my opinion. It's your choice whether you want to listen to my advice or not. But yeah, overall, it's fun to do, so I just wanted to share it to the world. And with that, that's the end of the video, and hopefully I'll see you all next video. Bye for now!